Hey, Ray here, back with another Edison Spotlight, and today I've got, well, interesting would not be accurate to describe this deck. Let's say hypothetically, you're lucky enough to have an Edison locals, or maybe you have a group of friends who you like to play Edison with online. How would you like to lose those friends while simultaneously boring yourself to death with the world's most linear deck? Welcome to Exodia! Every format has an Exodia deck. Exodia ever since the beginning has only ever been limited. It's never been banned, which means there's always someone who's trying to make the deck work, and they're either doing that through one of two ways, Exodia combo or Exodia stall. Exodia stall is about as interesting as watching paint dry or playing a Mystic Mine mirror match, and Exodia combo is one person playing solitaire for 20 minutes until they have 3 Royal Magical Libraries with 3 counters on each. This deck works basically the same way as the one that has been in every previous format that uses the Royal Magical Library engine. You just try and put as many spell counters on Royal Magical Library as you can repeatedly, so you can keep drawing cards until you draw your entire deck and draw Exodia. There's really not much to say here. We play White Stone of Legend and Blue Eyes White Dragon, which are targets for trade-in and Cards of Consonance respectively. We play Toon Table of Contents to thin the deck, and also search Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, which is indeed a trade-in target. We play Dark Factory of Mass Production, just in case we're forced to discard our pieces of Exodia so we can get them back. Dark World Dealings lets us dig deeper into the deck. Hand Destruction lets us dig deeper into the deck. Magical Mallet attempts to help us unbrick if we brick. Super Rejuvenation can be game-ending if you've discarded enough dragons that turn. Trade-in, yeah, you just use that with Blue Eyes, and we run 3 Upstart because we want to run essentially as few cards as possible. There's really not a lot I can say about this, so let's try some test hands so you can see exactly what this deck does. Now, usually I'd put a little disclaimer here like, oh, well, this isn't exactly representative of what the game's like, because obviously it's a 2-player game, you have to play around your opponent. If you're playing Exodia, you're playing a 1-player game, you don't care about what your opponent's doing as long as you're not dead yet. Oh look, we opened Royal Magical Library and some spells. We win the game. Royal Magical Library, we need to activate a spell so we can get that engine of ours going. So I'm going to activate Dark World Dealings. This puts a spell counter on Royal Magical Library, get used to saying that. Draw a card and then we discard a card. Ooh, I guess I'll discard Blue Eyes. That's 1 discard for our Super Rejuvenation. Then we're going to activate Cards of Consonance. That's 2 counters on our Royal Magical Library. Then we'll discard White Stone of Legend to draw 2 cards. This will activate the effect of our White Stone of Legend. Since we discarded it, we now have 2 triggers for our Super Rejuvenation. And also the effect of it triggers, which allows us to add a Blue Eyes from deck to hand. Do you see where this is going? I guess if you really like drawing cards, this is probably the deck for you. Now we can just feel free to fire off the Super Rejuvenation, because it doesn't matter, because it will still get activated during the end phase anyway, so let's just use some counters to keep track. So that's another counter on Royal Magical Library, and oh, now we have 3, we can remove them to draw a card. Ooh, okay. Now we're going to activate Upstart Goblin, this puts a counter on Royal Magical Library. Then we draw a card. Then we're going to activate Super Rejuvenation again, putting another counter on Royal Magical Library. And then I guess... Ooh, do we Mallet or do we Hand Destruction? Yeah, screw it, Hand Destruction. Let's draw 2 cards. That's another counter on Royal Magical Library. Then we discard 2. So now I'm thinking, do we go all in? Now, there's 2 ways we could go about this. We could milk this Super Rejuvenation for all it's worth, hoping to draw into multiple Super Rejuvenations, in which case we 100% want to do this. So now we have 4 counters on Super Rejuvenation. Yay. And it's resolving twice. I should probably put this here to remind myself. So that's 8 cards we're drawing. Ooh, yeah, this is going to plan. And we get to remove 3 counters to draw a card. Magical Mallet. Let's just get another counter on there. I don't need any of these cards, so I'm putting the 3 on the top of the deck. And then we are going to... Wow, we might actually draw Exodia. That's a spell counter on our Magical Library. Shuffle, and then draw 3. Did I already put a counter on it? Actually, I think I might. Oh, look! A 3rd Super Rejuvenation! That's another counter on Royal Magical Library. Oh, look! Toon Table of Contents. That lets us get another copy of Toon Table of Contents. Which also puts a counter on Royal Magical Library! Wow, isn't this deck really complex? I mean, this probably feels kinda good to pull off against another person. Alright, let's remove 3 and draw a card. Yeah, upstart. Toon Table of Contents. That's another counter. Are you guys beginning to get the picture yet? Man, we might actually do this. I was not expecting for this to succeed on camera. Oh, okay. So that was our last one, I think. So we're just gonna have to add the boy. Let's activate Magical Mallet, putting a 3rd counter. Then we send these 2 to the top of the deck. Then we draw 2. Remove 3 counters, draw a card. And now we end phase. During the end phase, we draw 12. Do we have Exodia? Okay, I thought that's how that works. Slash draw 12? Does it? Okay. Guess I'm manually drawing 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, let's see. Is this all 5 pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5! We have Exodia! Woo! We did it! I didn't expect this to happen, but yes, this is how this deck works. There is a reason Super Rejuvenation was limited for a very long time. Okay, yeah, that was partially because of the Dragon Rulers, but this card is stupid, put simply. I would say I don't know why they printed this, but this is a very old card. They couldn't have seen people doing this. If you draw a Magical Library and a good amount of spells, sometimes you just win. But this deck is extremely boring, and if you brick, you lose the game on the spot. This is literally gambling the deck. You have seen here that yes, you can win on your first turn and render the entire game pointless, but do you really want to play this? I don't know. I just made this deck profile for the sake of having... I just want to chronicle as many decks as I can on my channel to make this as kind of like almost a library of deck lists. But yeah, if you really want to be that guy who plays Exodia in every format, here's the list for you. I'm at least 99% sure all of the cards in here are legal and have been printed. And I really hope that's true. If not, there wouldn't be much you would need to change. So to that I say, fellow Exodia players... Actually, I'm not going to say fellow, I'm not an Exodia player. I'm just doing this to show you guys. Have fun ruining someone's game. And have a good one.